Markers. Do you want to play with flowers? Want to play with these? Want to play with flowers? Slinky? You want a slinky? There you go. Oh, you want two slinky? Here, we'll have one slinky. You can have one. Slinky. Flowers. Good job. Stella's already over playing with her flowers, so now she's lounging on the couch working on some of her colors, but I'm gonna make a pumpkin spice latte. It really feels like fall today. When I dropped Lucy off at school this morning, it was 62 degrees and it's like a little breezy, a little gloomy. It feels like fall. So I'm gonna celebrate with coffee and make my own version of a pumpkin spice latte. I don't really like the pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks. I just feel like they're super strong even when I get half the pumps. But I found this pumpkin spice creamer when I was getting groceries the other day. I've never bought this brand before. I don't know if it's any good, but I'm kind of excited to try it. So while Stella is entertained for a few minutes, I'm gonna make a fancy coffee. If you guys are looking for espresso pods from Nespresso, I highly recommend these. These are not coffee, these are espresso. It's not super strong, but it's not too mild, and I just love them. My camera just went crashing to the ground and it didn't break, but this seems like a more sturdy angle, so we're gonna stick with this. I'm gonna put some of this in my milk frother up to like the first line. I don't just want a mouthful of pumpkin spice creamer, so I'm gonna put in a little milk in this too and froth them together. Okay, 2 shots of espresso, pumpkin spice creamer, and milk. Let's just throw her in there. Okay, good. Then we mix with a baby spoon. I have this pumpkin pie spice. I'm just gonna put like a tiny bit on it. And there we have our fancy coffee. I don't care what you have to say. September 1st in my brain is fall. And if you were in my house right now feeling this weather, you would think it feels like fall too. It's been a busy morning so far. I woke up at like 4:50 and went to the gym. There's some construction on the road that I have to take to get to my gym, and now I have to go around it, and it adds on another 5 minutes to my trip. So for me to go work out in the morning, it's almost 30 minutes away from my house. I love going there, so I kind of have just sucked it up this whole time, but now that there's construction, like 30 minutes in the morning, woohoo, good job. 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back is a lot in the morning. That's a little excessive for me, and I don't usually mind it at all, but for some reason this extra 5 minutes has me contemplating my life goals. And when I got home, Shane had the girls set up with breakfast and I had to get Lucy ready for school, but we had to leave like 25 minutes early. We had to take Shane to work. I sold my car to my sister on Sunday, so I am without a vehicle completely. Left at 7:20 to take Shane to work, and then we had to drive Lucy to school. We dropped her off and then we came home. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but it's really not that big a deal. I think we're going car shopping tomorrow, but really I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna stress. We will have one vehicle until I find something that works for me, so it's fine. But today was Lucy's first day of school getting dropped off with no one taking her in. On the way to school, she asked me if she could walk in all by herself and take her book bag to her cubby, and I was like, okay, I guess so. Which is actually more convenient anyway because I had Stella with me. She got right out, she put her book bag on her back and walked right into school. It actually made me a little emotional because we've never just dropped her off at school before. We've always taken her in. Yeah, so it made me a little emotional, but she marched right in there, so she's just my big independent girl. In other news, I'm really rambling right now. Lucy and Stella had their first night sharing a room last night. It took them about an hour and a half to fall asleep last night. I laid them down at 7 and they were both asleep by 8:30. The reason that I finally did it is because I woke up yesterday morning and I looked on the monitor and Stella had her whole entire thigh stuck in her crib, like all the way to the top of her thigh. Stella is very sleepy this morning because she didn't take a nap yesterday. I don't know why, she just never fell asleep. And then she stayed up late with her sister, and then she woke up early with her sister, so she's a little sleepy right now. Anyway, I saw her on the monitor and her entire thigh was stuck in her crib, so I ran upstairs, and by the way, she was sleeping through the whole thing being stuck in there. So I ran upstairs to get her leg out and I couldn't get it out. I tried so hard. I had to wake Shane up to like pull apart the, what's the word I'm looking for here? Bars. Why can't I speak? And she was fine. We took it out and she has like a little mark on her leg. It's nothing crazy. So that stressed me out and I decided that I was going to get her a big girl bed because she is obsessed with Lucy's bed. Every night we go upstairs to go to bed, she climbs in Lucy's bed and says night-night and covers herself up. So I know that she will be fine sleeping in a big girl bed. Obviously yesterday on short notice, I didn't have a big girl bed, so Stella just slept in Lucy's room in the pack and play last night. And I think the reason they took so long to go to sleep is because Stella was trying to climb out the whole time. She was trying to climb out of the pack and play so she could lay in Lucy's bed. I figured we'd just pull the band-aid off and just start putting them in the same room now. Faith and Stella, I think she's gonna love it and I think she's gonna do fine. So for now, they are just sleeping in the same room and Stella is not in a big bed, but I am going to figure that out this week so she can have a big girl bed. What's going on currently, I'm going to drink my coffee and I will catch up with you guys in a little bit. I just rambled for so long. Stella has boots and a jacket on. It's kind of chilly out right now. It's super cloudy, but very bright out right now and I feel like I can't open my eyes, but Stella and I are gonna go on a run. I just wanna get out of the house. I had to change my shirt because I spilled my coffee all over it. I seriously spill every single day of my life. It's so annoying. So I'm wearing Shane's Dunder Mifflin shirt and we're gonna go on a run. I didn't run when I went to the gym today. I did more weightlifting cardio things, but I don't know, I'm just kind of in the mood to run. So I feel like I should take advantage of that, go do that, and then I'm gonna come home and shower when Stella takes a nap. So off we go. Okay, it is hours and hours later. I just got out of the shower. The girls are in bed. They're definitely not asleep, but they're in bed in the same room again. And this is actually awesome because they entertain each other before they fall asleep. Because for a little bit, Lucy was coming downstairs like a couple times being like, will you scratch my back? Will you read me another book? Will you tell me a story? And she hasn't asked me to do any of that because she has Stella entertaining her. So they're keeping each other up an extra hour right now, but at least they're entertaining each other. I don't even know where to look on my phone so that the glare isn't super bad on my glasses. If you guys follow me over on Instagram, you know what I've been doing all day, and that is trying to fix my camera. I'm gonna find a place to set this down because my arm is sore. It's kind of a weird angle, but I don't have a phone tripod or anything, so this is what you get. And I'm sorry, the cicadas are so loud outside right now. If you hear that, and my dad's sawing, and my washing machine is going. Wowzers. I guess I'll just try to talk a little louder, but I left off this vlog saying that Stella and I were gonna go on a run, and we went on an awesome run. I managed to run over 2 miles straight through in under 20 minutes, and I have not been able to do that since before I was ever pregnant with Stella. So like 3 years ago, I was running a lot, but I haven't been able to do that since. I know that 2 miles isn't much at all to some people, but to me, that was huge because I'm just not an amazing runner, so that felt great. When we got back, I was gonna make a protein smoothie. I was gonna show you guys how I was making it. I set my tripod up on the counter and I also had Stella up on the counter with me, and it was totally an accident. She was going to grab my spoon, and when she picked it back up, her elbow kind of just hit the bottom leg of the tripod a tiny bit, but since my camera's top heavy, it just fell straight down. So it fell straight to the floor on top of the lens, and when I picked it up, it was like wedged in sideways. So when I pushed the button, it made this really weird, crazy noise, and it said lens error and it shut off. I messed with it for a while. I watched like 20 YouTube videos and I actually managed to get it unwedged in my camera. And I was all excited because I thought it was gonna work because now it turns on like this. But whenever I do that, it just blinks this screen and then it turns off. I've been working on it all day, and then I pushed these 2 buttons randomly and I noticed that my screen turned on completely, and when I push those and I go to my menu, I can like see all my screen. So it's definitely my lens that's screwed up and not my screen, I guess, which is not good because the lens is obviously the most important part. So I stopped vlogging for obvious reasons, and also because I've been chatting with customer service all day, chatting with Geek Squad, and I was also chatting with Canon. And Canon, to get your products fixed by them is legitimately highway robbery, and it's pretty frustrating because my warranty like just ran out. And then Geek Squad was also going to be just as expensive, and honestly, it doesn't make sense to pay that much and then still have my older camera, and it's well over half the price of a new camera. Well over. When I posted that on my story, one of my best friends, Mallory, she texted me and she was like, you can buy my G7X, I never use it. She really came through for me today, and I am buying her Canon G7X Mark II from her on Thursday, and she's gonna bring it to me. So thankfully, I don't have to be without a camera for very long. I'm super bummed that I have to buy another camera at all, but I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles when you do this kind of stuff. It happens. I did find a video on YouTube that a lot of people said it worked, but he took like the whole camera camera apart. He took out all the screws, everything, and then when you put it back together, it worked. And there's tons of people in the comment section saying that worked. So Shane said that he would rip this apart and see if he could get it fixed, because it would be super convenient to have two cameras for some things, but for now, this one is absolutely busted. I'm just grateful that my friend came through and I could get a different camera. So until then, RIP, you've been a good camera to me. I'm optimistic that Shane can fix it, but I'm not sending it in and paying $400 some to get it fixed. It's just not happening. I wanted to say that it is 7:40 p.m. and both my kids are asleep in the same bedroom. It was so much faster tonight than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was over an hour and a half of them talking and playing with each other. Tonight it was like 30 minutes, so progress. Just got done cleaning up my house a little bit, and my mom actually brought me her Shark steam mop over. It was awesome. I've never used a steam mop before, but now I'm hooked. It cleaned my floors so well. And I would have showed you the process, but I'm in these like bootay shorts right now, and it would not have been PG. Now that my house is clean, I'm gonna put some oils in my diffuser, and then I'm probably gonna sit down and edit this video. It's not what I expected it to be, but I'm still out here vlogging. But Shane is at our rental right now. I'm gonna show you guys the process of us fixing that up. But if you didn't know, we do own a rental property. We own a duplex, and then we are also hoping to own some more here very soon. We bought a duplex a couple of years ago and it's been great. But the guy that lived downstairs the last like 10 years, we inherited him as a tenant when we bought it. His caretaker was smoking in his bedroom the entire time, and it is crazy in there, even though it was in our lease that you can't smoke inside, obviously, but they didn't care. And Shane went and tore up all the carpet. I can't express how terrible it smelled in there. So he tore up all the carpet, and now he's there scrubbing the walls. And I'm gonna show you guys the whole process because we have been recording it. But tonight's process is gonna be on Shane's phone because my camera's dead. That is what he's doing tonight. I don't know when he'll be back, but I'm just gonna sit down and edit, and he can come back whenever his heart desires. My cat acting like he owns the place. I don't know, oh, I just spilled. I don't know about you guys, but every single time I clean, I love to turn on my diffuser or a candle, and it finishes off the cleaning. Anybody else? There we go. Finishing touch is done. My house is clean for my toddlers to just run amok again in the morning, but we love it. I'm just gonna sit down and I'm going to edit. And then tomorrow, Shane and I have some errands to run. I'm gonna go get new flooring for the apartment. And then we have an appointment to look at a vehicle tomorrow. I don't know if we'll find something we like, but we're just gonna go look, get the process started, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you made it this far, thank you for following along. I love you. Goodbye.